Hey guys, so I'm going to start off by saying that this story, this whole episode is something I'm completely unfamiliar with, so learning as I go. And if I get anything wrong, feel free to, let me know. I'm not perfect by any stretch of anybody's imagination, clearly. So if you know more about this than I do, I would love to hear from you. I am just touching on it now. I may do more of it later once I know more, but I just wanted to get something out there because I found it absolutely fascinating and illuminating, and something that was, I stumbled onto something that Tom DeLonge was doing an interview with a podcast called High Strangeness. So it was only a 2-minute and 20-second interview. I'll put the link in the description below, but he touches on this, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I'll just get right into it. So there's this pyramid. Now, you've heard of the Alaska Triangle. I was just going to say Alaska Triangle because I've done episodes on that. People have talked about it. A lot of people, a lot of tragedy surrounds that. But this is something called the Black Triangle. They don't call it that in the beginning of this. Tom DeLonge doesn't actually specifically call it that, but I'm going to talk about the interview he did. And he says, there's a pyramid and it's underground. They've been studying it for decades. Now, the interviewer is kind of going along with him. He lives in Alaska. He's moved there, and he's kind of going, what are you talking about? What is this underground thing? I've heard of the triangle, but what's this you're talking about? And Tom continues on to say, yeah, and it's bigger than Giza. Now, that floored me. Giza in Egypt is gigantic, as we all know. Everybody knows how enormous Giza is. Tom keeps saying, yeah, it's not that far from Valdez, I believe. I would have to check on where it's at, but apparently, yeah. And I know a very important person that is from the Pentagon. As I mentioned, the thing is, Tom knows a lot of people probably in the Pentagon by now. He, started his To the Stars Academy back in, 2000 and, I don't want to get it wrong. I want to say 14, but he had a lot of contacts. I mean, he was having email back and forth with John Podesta, who was the communications liaison for the Clintons. So when Clinton was in the presidency. So anyway, when he says it's somebody high up at the Pentagon, there's no question that that's true, in my mind anyway. So he said that this Pentagon official met with one of the lead defense contractors that are studying it, and they told him, they said, we finally think we know what it's doing. It's turned on. We think it's suppressing consciousness. Our consciousness from Alaska across however far. That's what he said. Fucking wild. Tom's words, not mine. And then the interviewer reacts and he goes, I know, fucking wild, right? And the interviewer then follows up and says, did they discover this? Well, of course they did. Probably after that giant earthquake that basically Valdez had to shift back 2 miles. They had to rebuild the city. Tom interrupts him. Okay. He says, no. There's a legend that there was an earthquake of sorts, and all the seismographs picked up the waves that came, come all the way through everything. And they thought this whole anomaly, as shockwaves went through the land, there was some kind of a structure or something that perturbed, on the receiving end of these waves. So they dug some tunnels, elevator shafts, made a little strip there to land, and they've been underground studying it forever. That's the legend as it is. And the news did a little piece on it. And then all of a sudden, all that shit disappeared. Okay. And then a couple of people showed up to the station, a couple of guys showed up to the station and came in and said, don't ever air this again, kind of thing. So on several people's deathbeds who had worked underground on this, said that they were very aware. He said, I think in the beginning, fuck if I can remember correctly, again, Tom's words, again, it was like someone who worked for Bell Labs or like, what was it? It was like, maybe it was the precursor to AT&T or something like that. I don't want to get it too fucked up. People kind of hang on my words when I talk about shit like this. He's right. I'm one of them. I enjoy listening to his take on things, and I do believe him when he talks. So the only thing I want to say is, yes, there's a pyramid, and we've been studying it, and I've pretty much said all I know about it. All right. Now, having said that, I did kind of go into it a little bit further, so I have a little bit more to add. And again, I say that the common name for this is the Black Pyramid. Okay. And since its discovery, there have been numerous attempts to keep it concealed, and the true nature of it, obviously, they don't want people to know about. They don't even want people to know it exists. So many people do speculate, though, because the secret's out, the cat's out of that bag, that they think it could be one of two things. Either it's an extraterrestrial origin, or perhaps the remains of a long-lost human civilization. All right? The official, I say with quotes, existence of the Black Pyramid wasn't confirmed. I think I called it triangle a couple of times. Forgive me if I do. It's still not trained on my in my my vocabulary yet. I'm still so used to saying the triangle. But once this was confirmed, it was July 26th of 2012, and it was done by veteran journalist and UFO researcher Linda Moulton Howe. Now, she reported its discovery on Coast to Coast AM radio show, and she had conducted a study in which she reported that the Alaska Triangle is a zone where ships, planes, and people tend to disappear. After her spot on Coast to Coast, Linda aired a pre-recorded conversation she had with Doug Mutchler. I know I probably got that wrong, but I apologize. I did the best I could. He was a retired U.S. Army counterintelligence agent who described the events leading up to the discovery of the Black Pyramid. After the discovery, Mutchler was transferred from Alaska to Fort Meade, the home of the NSA, National Security Agency, where he confirmed the pyramid story using classified information. Now, he said he wanted to know more and was told where he could find just what he was looking for. Now, upon going to search for more information on this pyramid, like he was looking for more like archaeological evidence and to see what other people had discovered, couldn't find anything on that. But he stumbled across something else not pertaining to the pyramid. He was approached almost immediately and told, "You don't need to know this stuff." Now, after that, there was an explosion in the very building that he found all that stuff. And the forbidden information, I guess you could call it. And the day after Linda's interview with Mutchler aired, she was contacted by the son of a former Western Electric engineer to confirm Mutchler's claims and provide additional information. Okay? This news source told Linda that between 1959 and 61, his father had worked on a powerful electrical system emanating with a massive underground pyramid, emanating from a massive underground pyramid of unknown origins in Alaska. He repeatedly emphasized how highly the government valued this project and the measures they took to keep it concealed. He said it was a research project focused on energy distribution. In his later years, the source's father would complain about his electric bill, saying it could be free if people only knew the truth. This portion I have heard of. Like, there was something that I heard in passing about there being enough energy to like provide it for all of Canada. I don't know why the lower 48 states would be left off that, but anyway, so to this day, the Black Pyramid, according to my research, is under strict guard by both the U.S. Army and a private military organization. Lord knows who that is. That regulates all the entry into the base, but or into the location. They don't call it a base, which I found interesting, but because it's a project, it's not a base. So there you have it. That's what I found out, and so what I'm taking away from this is that I still haven't figured out my lighting. And B, there is a possibility out there that exists that we could possibly have free energy. It won't be in my lifetime, of course, but hopefully in the future people can benefit from this kind of a discovery if it is in fact true. Like I said, if you know more, which I'm sure you do, I mean, there's a lot more out there, but I just wanted to share this and get it out there because it was something I found quite fascinating. And to know that Tom DeLonge was talking about it, I always want to know what he's up to. So, but until next time, I hope you're staying happy and healthy and that you are staying weird. Okay, and take care. Bye.